Imagine this, a big concert hall full of people. The music ends, everyone jumps up, they clap, they cheer, they cry. But on the stage, one man does not turn around. He cannot hear them. He cannot hear the music at all. And yet, he wrote it, some of the most beautiful music in the world. This is the true story of Beethoven. Ludwig van Beethoven was born in the town of Bonn in Germany, more than 250 years ago. His father was a musician. He was very strict, and home was not easy. Some nights, little Ludwig had to get out of bed to practice the piano with tears in his eyes. But something strange happened. At that piano, when Ludwig played, the world became warm. The piano was his safe place. There, no one shouted. There was only sound, soft and bright like light in a dark room. The music felt like a friend. He played and played, and soon people all over the town said, "This boy has a gift." Then, when Ludwig was 16, his mother died. His father became ill and could not work. So young Ludwig took care of his two little brothers. He worked, he taught, he played. Life was heavy for the boy, but the music was still inside him. When he was 21, Ludwig moved to Vienna, the city of music. He studied with Haydn, one of the most famous composers alive. And very fast, Vienna fell in love with him. People came from far away to hear him play the piano. His fingers were like fire. When he sat down to play, the whole room went quiet. His music was strong, new, full of feeling, sometimes soft as rain, sometimes loud as a storm. Nobody had heard music like this before. He wrote music of his own, and his name grew and grew. He carried little notebooks everywhere. When a melody came to him on a walk, at dinner, late at night, he stopped and wrote it down. The poor boy from Bonn was becoming a great composer. He had a big dream, to write music that the world would never forget. Everything was bright, but life was about to test him in the worst way a musician can imagine. When Beethoven was about 28, he noticed something strange. His ears were ringing. Sounds became far away, like voices behind a wall. He went to doctors. Nothing helped. Slowly, he understood the truth. He was going deaf. A composer? Who cannot hear? Can you imagine his fear? He hid it. He stopped going to dinners and concerts. He was afraid people would find out. In the year 1802, he stayed in a quiet village called Heiligenstadt. There he wrote a long letter to his brothers. In the letter, he said he was more sad than words can say. He even thought about leaving this world, but then he wrote something else. He wrote that he could not go, not yet, because the music was still inside him. So much music. He made a brave choice. I will stay. I will live for my music. That letter never left his desk, but that choice changed music forever. Year by year, the silence grew. In the end, he could hear almost nothing. Friends wrote their words in little books, and he read them to talk. People say he pressed a wooden stick to his piano and felt the music shake softly in the wood. He could not hear the world, but he could still hear something inside. The melodies were in his mind, clear and beautiful, like a river that never stops. He walked for hours in the fields near Vienna with his notebook in his hand, writing down the music that only he could hear. He listened with his heart. And in those silent years, he wrote some of the greatest music of his whole life. Then came the 7th of May, 1824, Vienna, a great concert hall. Beethoven stood on the stage next to the leader of the music to help lead his newest work, his Ninth Symphony, with its famous melody of joy. Think about that, a song about joy, written by a man who lived in silence. The music ended. Behind him, the hall was filled with noise and joy. People jumped up, clapping, crying, waving their hats and white cloths in the air, but Beethoven did not turn around. He could not hear the applause. Then a young singer, Caroline, gently took his arm and turned him to the people. And he saw it. All that love. Again and again they stood for him. He could not hear them, but that night he could see how much his music meant to the world. Some people say there were tears in his eyes. Beethoven died 3 years later in Vienna. Thousands and thousands of people filled the streets to say goodbye. Today, 200 years later, his music plays in every country on earth. In concert halls, in films, and his melody of joy even became the official song of Europe. The music of many, many countries written by a man who could not hear it. And you, my friend, you are learning English. Some days the words are hard to hear, hard to understand. It can feel like a wall. Remember Beethoven. He lost the one thing a musician needs most. And he still made something beautiful because he did not stop. Listen with your heart and keep going. The music is inside you too. You did great, my friend. Now, 3 quick questions. Ready? Question 1. What happened to Beethoven when he was about 28? A. He became rich. B. He began to lose his hearing. C. He stopped writing music. The answer is B. He slowly became deaf, but he kept writing. Question 2. In the village of Heiligenstadt, what did Beethoven choose? A. To stop making music. B. To leave Vienna forever. C. To live for his music. The answer is C. He chose to stay and live for his music. Question 3. At the big concert in 1824, why did the singer turn Beethoven around? A. So he could see the applause he could not hear. B. Because the concert was over. C. Because he was in the wrong place. The answer is A. He could not hear the people, so she helped him see their love. Beethoven could not hear his own music, but he never stopped listening with his heart. When English feels hard, do the same. Keep listening, keep going. If you understood this story, write "I understand" in the comments. Like this video and subscribe. A new true story is coming soon. Keep learning, my friend. See you next time.